big part of data privacy is data security. FERPA doesn't say a whole lot about data security, which is a good thing because security practices have changed a lot since the 1970s. But it does say that schools need to use reasonable methods to ensure that data are not used for unauthorized purposes. As a heads up, what's reasonable in one school might not be reasonable in another, so you're going to have to check your local policies. Let me answer a question some of you might be thinking. Why should schools be worried at all? I mean, we're not a major company like Target or Equifax. I mean, we don't have sensitive information like credit cards or social security numbers, so certainly schools aren't a target, right? The problem with high-profile data breaches that make national news is that they're really more of the exception than the rule. Most data breaches that happen are much smaller and don't end up on the news, but that doesn't make them any less damaging. The fact of the matter is that not thinking you're a target is exactly what makes you a target. Schools have something of a dangerous mix because of a number of things. Schools have lots of student data and a lot of employee data. That means your data. Schools invest in and use a lot of technology. In fact, in rural areas, the school is often going to have the fastest internet connection. And while schools have kept up with technology, it doesn't mean that they've invested equally in security. Weak security infrastructure means easy access for hackers. For example, if someone were wandering around a parking lot looking for a car to break into, which car is most likely to get hit? My guess is that it'll be the car with the unlocked doors. High-profile data breaches also make us misunderstand the threat and think that they're just trying to steal our information. The reality is a little more complicated than that. For example, ransomware attacks against public institutions are becoming more and more frequent. The objective of these isn't to steal your information, but to lock it up. The only way to unlock it is to pay up. Just ask the citizens of the city of Atlanta about when they were hit by a ransomware attack. Estimates suggest that it has cost over $2.6 million to repair the damage from the attack. Also, a hacker group ominously calling themselves Dark Overlord stole information from schools across the US and then used that information to send very detailed death threats to parents of students. In some cases, the school had to be closed for several days while they assessed the threat. Is that something your school can afford? And some hackers are actually students who are maybe bored, or worse still, they're looking to get information to harm students or teachers. Not all student hackers are cool like Ferris Bueller. A myth in all of this is believing that hacking into your school's computer system is a complex task that would require an Ocean's 11 style team. That works great for Hollywood storytelling. But the reality is, more often than not, someone just leaves a computer unlocked in an open place. If you remember just one statistic, then it's this. 95% of all successful malware attacks were caused by human error. Think about that for a second. Even on those high-profile hacks like Target and Equifax, it wasn't the security system that failed. It was the human element. So security isn't just IT's job, it's everyone's job. To steal a line from Zac Efron in the hit High School Musical, we're all in this together. And I know you already have so much on your plate as an educator, and this just sounds like one more thing you have to do. But it doesn't have to be. Let me give you one last simile. Educational technology is like a sports car. It's fun, it's exciting, and data security is like the seatbelt. It helps you use it safely. And like a seatbelt, it can become just the kind of thing that you do when you get in your car without thinking about it. If you'll excuse me, I just got my learner's permit, and I've got to go practice.